Hello everyone, this is Jakem Shuker from the Syrian band Maysaloon. Listen to Rockzone. مرحبا أنا جاك شكر from the Syrian band Maysaloon. لازم تسمعوا Rockzone.
Na kus řeči s Frankem.
So I'm singing here today with the one and only Jake from the band Maysaloon. Hi Jake.
Hi everyone. Hey, ahoy.
So, the first question, Jake, because many of our viewers and listeners wouldn't know who Maysaloon actually are. So how would you describe Maysaloon to Rockzone listeners and viewers, music-wise and otherwise?
Alright, so I started this band, we started in 2015. It was a pure death metal project, was supposed. But then we decided to get these Middle Eastern influences into our music, which sounded very fascinating even for us. I was like, yo, we're doing this. So yeah, so music-wise, it's a mixture of black metal, death metal, and of course the Middle Eastern influences, because mainly we speak about mythology in the region, so it makes a lot of sense, So yeah, there you go.
Okay, thank you so much. Your latest album was released last year. What are the reactions of fans and media so far? What are the receptions that you got from ever since you released the album?
All right, well, we've got a pretty much good feedback, because I had an episode with the WMC called World Metal Congress. They had this online show, so I had the luxury to be in an interview with Max Cavalera, and when Max Cavalera likes your music, that's the greatest feedback you can ever get. So yeah, there you go.
Okay, thank you. And what are so far the biggest achievements for, let's say, your band, for Maysaloon, and for you, music-wise?
Well, look, the greatest achievement that any Syrian band can do is the thing that we did. We were managed to make this happen, because it wasn't done before in where I come from, and it's pretty much difficult. So any achievement we make is a great achievement, believe me. So yeah, there you go.
Okay, so that means that there are only a few or none of bands death metal bands from Syria, right?
There used to be a lot. Yeah, the metal scene is huge, but none of them were able to make it to the world map, just like Maysaloon did. And I think that when I performed at the Imperial War Museum in the UK, I got huge exposure, so it was this main thing, what is a huge accomplishment, as so there you go.
Okay, fine. Tell me a little bit about your backstory of yours, because and your band, of course, because since you are from Syria, it may be harder for you to bring up your name of yours and your bands more than for bands from Central Europe. So give me a little backstory of how it is actually and how it feels to be a band from Syria, a death metal band from Syria, to be precise?
Well, being that's a pretty cool question. Being a death metal artist in the Middle East, look, it's disastrous from one side, but it's, I think, when you have like this terrible and random lifestyle in such a place, and I think there's like, it always affects how you think and your musical perception, I would say, how you make the music, how you compose. So like we took this as an advantage all the time. Like I think artists, even like say painters and all other forms in that region, it's probably channeling. They channel the thing that we are like into like art. It's mostly, this is how it's being done. But freedom wise, like look, we don't have labels, we don't have like agencies, even magazines or anything like that. When I used to book, I used to go by myself, and we had only one venue in Damascus. It's a lovely venue though, a huge Damascene house, 400 years old at least, and Damascene house has like this waterfall in the middle, so it was pretty much cool to perform that place, though like it was totally fucked up like around you, but yeah, like this is how, what is it, like it was mainly like that.
When you were speaking about the channeling of the art and the life in your country, what means the music for you when you are living where you are living? Like, is it like a sort of escape for you or something else? Can you give me a hint of your emotions, like when you play or when you write music? What it means for you actually?
All right, I can tell you, like I can recall like many rehearsals like we did. Look, the terrible thing, the most terrible thing about this, it was the power, and when you want like to go to rehearsal, you have to put in consideration a lot of things, and it's 90% not accurate, so there's 90% you're not doing the rehearsal well. It's horrible. It's horrible, like to be in this state all the time. For a musician, this is total frustration. But I think, yeah, you have to also take in consideration, because that is music now. It's the only thing that will get you like out of this situation that you are in, like, because you keep getting like frustrated because of what's going on and everything. So yeah, music was pretty much not just music, art in general. Artists, yeah, because we have huge art. I would say a lot of artists, like we can. But the thing is, when the war like broke through, it was like, you know what, we can't live here, we can't survive here, and yeah, it was disastrous, but it was it was inspirational at the same time. Yeah.
So you are actually taking good things from the worst things that are happening to you. Am I right?
Totally, man. I absolutely right.
Okay, thank you. Do you think that we may see Maysaloon or your other band, which I will get a little bit later, in the near future here in Czech or somewhere else close? What are the chances actually?
Well, the chances are now pretty much big. Like since I performed in the UK, I got a lot of contacts there, and we've been contacting since then. And now, since we are also like working on new music, I guess it's the right time to do that. So it's a huge opportunity, and like I'm so excited about it, because it's also like no Syrian band was able to do this. Like no Syrian band toured Europe or anything like that. So it's big. It's pretty much big, man.
So fingers crossed that it will happen in the near future. And let me ask you about your visit to the UK, because you mentioned it several times. here. So what was it about? What was it?
Well, first I was invited to the World Metal Congress, which was it was the first edition, like when I was invited, and it was all about bringing people like from around the world into like together when it's all about metal and bringing people together. So they had like people from Afghanistan, people from Norway, people from Australia, people. Yeah, it was huge, man. Like I even like saw Barney from Napalm Death there. Yeah, the guy was so cool, man. And I was invited to talk about my experience in Syria and the war thing, the music. And the next visit I went to the UK. It was for I had a performance at the Imperial War Museum, which was huge, man. The entire thing was a huge. Like I remember, like I was standing with Barney and I was telling him I'm performing at the Imperial. I was inviting him, and he was like, "This is so cool." Like, do you imagine Barney saying this to me? It was so great. And then like I got also the chance to perform with Paradise Lost guitarist Aaron. Yeah, Aaron. He went there and he witnessed this entire thing. It was so cool, man, to me. So yeah, this is like.
That's wow. That's really cool. That's actually really cool. But anyways, let's move forward. You are also a frontman of another band called Battlaxe.
Yes, I recently actually joined them. I wasn't in this, but my bassist in Maysaloon also, like, he's part of Battlaxe. So he was like, they kicked the vocalist out, and the guy was like, you know what? How about you sing, and how about you play with us? I was like, whoa, this is too much. But so yesterday I was at Dan Friend, The Barn production. I recorded a song for Battlaxe, and it will be released soon with like a video clip as well. And it talks about the recently, like, the explosion in Beirut that happened. Yeah, it's all about this entire. Yeah, it's pretty much political. Battlaxe. It's all about politics.
Yeah, I was going to ask because Battlaxe are a different genre, right?
Yes, it's thrash, more like thrash, but also influenced by Middle Eastern music. Actually, when I joined them, I put a lot of me into the music, and they liked it. Like, it suits the entire also political thing, since we are talking about this thing. So yeah, this is it.
But the guys from Battlaxe are from different cities, right? Than you.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a Lebanese project, but I guess there are now 3 Syrian members and only 1 Lebanese guy, so I don't know.
Okay, but you mentioned that you came here to work with Dan Frimmel from The Barn. He's known for The Barn, and he's known for his production skills from The Barn and from many other bands. So how was the work with him?
Man, listen, I can tell, like, this is the first time, like, experience to me to get to work with like a real producer in like a real place with a real, and I think I never like experienced this kind of joy before, and it was so great. And the guy, he's so kind, and he's genius. I think he has a way of he has his own way of thinking, which I liked so much. Man, I listened to his music. It's banger music. Yeah, Mean Messiah. He has a band called Mean Messiah. I like so much, man. It's so cool. So yeah, there.
So you recall that the experience with him was really cool, and you mentioned that you recorded a track for Battlaxe.
Yes, I did the vocals. I had to scream all the time, but it was so cool, man. He was very helpful as well, and he gave me like a little bit some tips and advices. So he's a producer, so I asked him to do that. He was first like, I'm not doing anything. Look, I'm not like you're going to do your thing. But then I asked him to do because I wanted to. Yeah, and it was pretty cool, man.
So it wasn't just the production, but he also made for you some coach work, to be said.
Yes, which I like, because I like to involve. Like, I like new ideas. I like people to. Yeah, it was pretty cool, man. It's always pretty cool. This is you know.
So if some bands are watching who are in need to see some new producer, definitely contact Dan. I will, I will put in the link some links in the description so you can find him easily. But anyways, let's move on with some questions. Past 2 years, they were really hard since COVID hit and stuff. But let me ask you, it was not hard just for the music industry, but for also people mentally and physically. And so I'd like to ask you, how do you feel right now? Since like most of the things fell down, like you don't need to wear any face mask, and most of the people are vaccinated and stuff. But how do you feel like after those 2 years?
Look, I think it's always disastrous what this thing because on many levels, as you mentioned, like mentally, the people aren't as used to be after these 2 years, because we lost a lot of communications, we lost a lot of like this feeling when you go out and everything. It's different when you are like stuck at your place for 2 years. But I think, like we were as well like saying in the beginning of the interview, that we can take bad things and turn it into good things. So to me, it was like also like I practiced a lot in these 2 years. I used it, man. I abused these 2 years. Yeah, and wrote a lot of music, new music. Also like worked on like new projects as well. So you gotta just have the right. Sometimes you need the right mindset to get the best thing out of the worst thing. So yeah.
So that's basically what we were talking about when we mentioned like your situation back in your hometown, you know, and that you are taking the best from the worst and stuff. Anyways, what can we expect in the near future from Maysaloon? Are there some new things that you are sitting on? Is there something in the bucket?
Sure, man. We've been doing some experiments, I would say, music-wise, and we came up with like the strangest idea you would hear, but it made a lot of sense to us, and we managed to create this new sound for like how should the band sound like even on stage and everything. We were also like discussing how like we're gonna add a lot of oud, which is like an old Arabic instrument, and a lot of like odd time signatures we have for this upcoming album. So it's pretty much complex. The plan what we have for the future is how you make things complicated. This is this is how it is.
That sounds really cool. So we can look forward in the near future for some new material with some local instruments of yours. That sounds pretty rad. And yeah, we are at the last question, which is pretty easy. Pineapple on pizza, yes or not?
Jesus Christ, no. Nope.
Okay, everyone says no. Well, I'm looking forward to see someone who says yes on pineapple on pizza. But anyways, guys, this was Jake from the band Maysaloon and from Battlaxe. Jake, thank you so much for taking your time.
So honored for like this, and thank you so much, and thank you guys, and see you maybe soon.
Don't definitely forget to watch Maysaloon anywhere on the internet. I will put the links in the description. Follow them on Facebook, on Instagram. Listen to their music on Spotify. Buy their CDs, which you can actually buy on Czech website. And yeah, maybe see you soon on some show here. Yeah, is there anything that you want to say to our viewers and listeners that's on your heart? Some few last words, famous last words?
Ahoy, Praha!
That was it. Jake from Maysaloon. Thank you.